One-person voluntary escort. This escort should never be used if the person is exhibiting escalating behaviors. Assume a side-by-side stance. Gently place your inside hand between the person's shoulder blades, just below the base of the neck, keeping your thumb tucked in and adjacent to your index finger. With other hand, gently cradle the person's elbow in a supportive manner. The elbow being held is the one between your body and theirs. All walk forward to safety. Do not back the person into a corner. Two-person standing physical restraint. If considering a two-person restraint, remember that the act of placing hands on a person may affect the person's next decisions. Some people may become more energized and some may become calmer. The first step to the two-person hold is the standing hold. This can be helpful in many instances in providing more time for the person and staff to work together. A two-person hold might be avoided if this standing hold is used effectively. The standing hold will still be considered a physical restraint. Two staff members, arm staff, approach the person from 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 45-degree angles. Client faces the leader at 12 o'clock. Each staff would simultaneously step to person's side while grasping person's same side wrist, right to right or left to left, with staff members' palm under the client's wrist. Staff then pivot so they are facing the same direction as the person and reach under the person's elbow with their free inside hand. That hand then passes over the person's forearm with the staff taking a firm hold of their own wrist. Secure the person's elbow into the staff person's armpit. Stand hip to hip and lean inside knee into person's leg for added restriction. The reverse safety move to the floor. This is only done when standing move is unsafe. From the two-person hold position, the arms leader indicates the initiation of a coordinated turn so that the arm staff will eventually face the opposite direction from the person. To initiate the turn, switch hands on the person's wrist. Simultaneously pivot towards the person until both staff are facing the opposite direction as the person. Loop your arm so that your inside hand hooks the shoulder. Staff step with leg closest to the person so that staff's heel and person's heel touch. Step forward with outside leg. This should move the person off balance by pulling him or her backward. As the person is lowered to the floor in a sitting position, support the person at the shoulder and along the staff person's inside leg and gently lower person to his or her back. Leg staff will move into position at this time and safely hold the leg above knee and above ankle. The staff moves their lowered knee as a brace upon the floor just above the person's elbow. Continue to hold the person's arms. To increase the effectiveness of this hold, staff leans toward each other. This safety holds the person's upper arms by using leverage. Staff should always face toward the head of the person. Forward safety move to the floor. Staff should shift their arms closest to the person under the person's armpit, hooking the person's upper arm in the crook of the staff person's elbow. Then grasp the front of the person's shoulder with the same hand. Maintain hold on person's wrist with your outside hand. Move to the floor. On the signal from the arm staff leader, arm staff step forward, placing their inside legs slightly in front of the person's toe that is closest to them. Next, staff should take a large step forward with their outside foot. Maintain support at the person's shoulders while keeping a safe hold on the person's lower arm. Allow enough freedom of movement on your person's lower arm so that they can move their hands forward to decrease concern about the falling sensation. As the person is lowered to the floor, staff will drop down on their inside knee, the one closest to the person, remaining parallel to the person. Continue to safely hold the person's arms. Allow the person's arms to move forward to break fall. Safe holding position. Once the person is on the floor, the staff must get into a safe holding position. The person must be on his or her stomach. Immediately bring the person's arms back along their sides and place their wrist against their own side and on the floor. Leg staff will move into position at this time and safely hold the legs above the knee and above the ankle. The staff move their lowered knee as a brace upon the floor, between the person's elbow and shoulder. Continue to safely hold the person's arms. To increase the effectiveness of this safe hold, staff leans toward each other. This safely holds the person's upper arms by using leverage. Other staff may help to prevent head banging or biting. When a forward to the floor maneuver has occurred, the person must be immediately repositioned into a face-up position to minimize the potential for positional asphyxia. Always get into the safe holding position if there is initial difficulty in the forward maneuver. Turn technique, from a face-down to a face-up position. The person is secured by a 3 to 4 person floor hold per safety, hope, and healing. The arm staff leader will designate which direction the person will be turned. The arm staff leader directs the other arm person and the leg staff to turn the person 180 degrees, front to back, so that the person is rolled toward the non-leader. While continuing to secure the person's wrist, the arms leader grasps the underside of the person's shoulder and begins to lift the person from the floor in a rolling motion. While securing the person's arm so that the person is rolled on top of their own arm, the other arm's person assists in the completion of the front to back roll. The arm staff immediately position themselves into a safe holding position once the person has completely rolled over. Simultaneously, the leg staff release just enough pressure to allow for the person to be rolled without losing their own sense of leg safety. If 2 leg staff are present, once the person has completed the roll, each leg person should now be holding the opposite leg from the original to the floor position. If the legs are being safely held by one person, as in the one-person leg wrap technique, the staff member will ease up on the safe hold around the legs, just enough to allow them to freely move as the person is being turned. Optional one-person leg safety hold. Move to the floor taking safety, hope, and healing to watch for the person's feet. Use your arm, closest to the person's feet, to shield your face as you approach the person from high on the leg. Position your body over the person's lower legs at a 45-degree angle, keeping your weight on your own elbows and knees, and hug the person's lower legs adjacent to the ankles. The closer you are to the ankles without placing weight on the ankles, the better. Do not hold the person around the knees. Turn your face toward the person's head and hang on. You may find that placing your cheek on the person's calf will keep you in a better position. 2-person leg hold. Leg staff must approach from the sides and lower themselves next to the person's leg closest to them. Place one hand adjacent to the knee and one hand on the shin to secure the leg. Then staff should move their lowered leg next to the person's knee. Hold the person's leg firmly to immobilize it while being safety, hope, and healingful, not to put pressure on the person's knee joints. After the two-leg staff are safely holding the legs, additional staff may be needed to hold the person's ankles.